What do you think? Could this be genuine? Or is it too perfect to be real? What you're looking at appears to be the biological remains of a creature that defies standard zoological classification. While many skeptics will immediately point toward a black bear suffering from a severe case of sarcoptic mange, a closer look at the anatomical proportions suggests we might be looking at something far more predatory and elusive, a fallen dogman. The first thing that strikes me is the sheer muscularity visible through the sections of exposed, hairless skin. Notice the length of the forelimbs compared to the rest of the torso. On a standard bear, the paws are heavy and rounded, designed for weight distribution. Here, the digits appear unnaturally elongated, almost resembling a humanoid hand with thick, dark claws. This matches the descriptions of Type 1 dogmen, which are known for their ability to manipulate objects and even climb with startling agility. Floyd had stopped for a break while driving when he noticed a tall, dark creature watching some mountain goats and moving around while observing them. Fortunately, Floyd had the presence of mind to use his iPad to film the creature, which did not seem human to him. It's possible the creature was standing upright to get a better view or vantage point. My buddy took this video in 2017 near Jasper, Alberta, Conrad explains. Floyd had to stop for a quick break, and they pulled into a small rest area. His brother, I believe, came down from a distance and mentioned the creature to Floyd. Floyd said it was watching some mountain goats to the left, then walked to the right. They tried to find a road that might take them closer, but there wasn't one. He did what he could with the equipment. We appreciate you sharing this footage because the world wants to see it. If someone thinks they filmed a Bigfoot, everyone in the Bigfoot community and many curious people around the world want to see these videos. While we were on a Bigfoot expedition, someone sent us the following video. It supposedly shows a Bigfoot near Silverton, Colorado. It seems to have been filmed from the train that runs between Durango and Silverton. As I mentioned, we were camping less than 100 miles northwest of this location when it was recorded, conducting a Bigfoot sighting investigation on Thunder Mountain. Colorado is famous for its Bigfoot sightings, and is currently the top reported Sasquatch hotspot in the entire Rocky Mountain region. Take a look at this intriguing clip of what some might believe to be a Sasquatch observing a family while they're fishing. At first glance, several things immediately caught my attention. The figure's color blends seamlessly with the surrounding environment, which is often reported in credible Sasquatch sightings. The way it dips out of sight is eerily reminiscent of other well-documented Sasquatch videos I've come across over the years. The movements are subtle yet deliberate, almost as if it's trying to remain unnoticed.
I've been hearing some wood cracks and stuff up that direction. And then we found these massive footprints, and it looks like it was doing this sidestep thing.
In Sasquatch Canyon, we came across 17-inch long and 8-inch wide Bigfoot tracks, which appeared to be doing the same thing, sidestepping and hopping, possibly for similar reasons, either watching a threat or perhaps tracking prey.
We're gonna have to measure this too. Okay. Found a Bigfoot that was sidestepping right here. He's doing this little shuffle sidestep. I've heard of him doing this. That is just a massive footprint. See the toes. I'm gonna put my size 10 next to it. I'm gonna get the width on it. I don't know why they do these side shuffle things. I know they try to get to points where they're not leaving footprints. See, it come from an area where it wouldn't be leaving much footprints.
What do you think? Could this be another piece of evidence or just an illusion created by our desire to see the unexplained?
What is that?
This is one of my favorite pieces of Bigfoot or SL Yeti footage, showing a creature sidestepping, hopping, and jumping. It seems to square off directly at the witness and camera, likely to assess and react to any perceived threat. Luckily, it was being filmed with a camera rather than something more dangerous. Have you ever gone hunting? I think so, yes. And what if you are lucky enough to meet a mysterious creature during your pleasant pastime? Last day at hunt camp, one of the hunters sets his blind up near an elk wallow. No elk showed up, but he got some awesome video footage of a large upright mountain beast, less than 30 feet.
I wonder if it was two sidestepping. It looks like two different sets of footprints and they followed each other's track. Will you film those for a second while I try to get my tape measure out? I'm just gonna show you guys where we're at. We're almost into Sasquatch Canyon. I've been hearing some wood cracks and stuff up that direction. And then we found these massive footprints, and it looks like it's doing this sidestep thing.
Footage that seems to show a Bigfoot, filmed back in 2011. We're not exactly sure where this was captured, but it seems to be in or near a Russian province, as the people in the video are speaking a form of Russian. I'm gonna stabilize the footage, zoom in on the subject, slow it down to half speed, and then play it back and forth a few times so we can get a better look at what might be a type of European Yeti or Bigfoot. First, I'll play the footage forwards, and then I'll reverse it so you can see it both ways. Here's the stabilized version, followed by a zoomed in, stabilized version, which I'll play forwards, then in reverse. After that, I'll play it forwards one more time at slow speed, zoomed in and stabilized, and then reverse it again. Finally, I'll show you the original clip. This footage is really fascinating.
I know that Russian Bigfoot was completely sidestepping when they filmed that one, and that was very credible. Well, these aren't by no means fresh. These look like they were made probably less than a week ago. They've melted out a bit. I'm gonna put my size 10 next to it. I'm gonna get the width on it. Fine. You can see my fresh footprint right next to it. It's a very warm day today. The snow's melting quick, so it must have made this when the snow was a little bit colder.
Welcome to these true dramatized encounters that remind us of the mysteries still lurking in the shadows of our world. From remote forests to quiet highways, the legend of Bigfoot endures, sparking wonder and debate.
Encounter 1. Local man spots Bigfoot in New York State. Fred Ronaudo of Woodbury, New York had an encounter on June 4, 1976 that he says changed his life forever. While camping in the woods near Lawrenceburg, about half an hour north of Lake George, Ronaudo claims he came face to face with a Yeti, a creature more commonly known as Bigfoot. Ronaudo, a 34-year-old carpenter and cabinet maker, had decided to spend the night outdoors on a friend's property while working on some nearby houses. After lighting a fire, he settled into his sleeping bag near his truck on a small hill overlooking a creek and beaver pond. The fire burned out and he fell asleep under a clear, starry sky. At around 3:30 a.m., he was startled awake by a long, eerie howl echoing through the woods. At first, I thought it was a wolf or a coy dog, Ronaudo recalled. Those kinds of sounds aren't unusual out there. But as the howling moved closer, from the creek to an area about 30 yards away, he realized something was different. I sat bolt upright, trying to make sense of what I was hearing. Moments later, loud crashing sounds erupted from a brushy area across an open field. Turning toward the noise, Ronaudo spotted a massive white figure emerging from the darkness. I could hear its heavy footsteps before I even saw it, he said. It was breathing loudly like it had just run a long way. When I finally saw it, my eyes nearly popped out of my head. The creature, which Ronaldo described as being about 9 feet tall and covered in white fur, came within 50 to 75 yards of him before stopping abruptly. It hadn't seen me at first, but when it did, it jumped in the air like it was startled, he said. Then it made 2 smaller hops before stopping again. Terrified, Ronaldo jumped into his truck and rolled down the window to keep watching the creature. It was huge and furry. Even though it was dark, I could see it well enough to know this wasn't a bear or a person. I just knew it was a yeti. The creature eventually disappeared into the woods, leaving Ronaldo shaken but unharmed. The next morning, Ronaldo discovered massive footprints in the area where the creature had been. The tracks measured 15 inches long and 5 or 6 inches wide. He later made plaster casts of the prints and showed them to friends, family, and local experts. Despite receiving mixed reactions, ranging from awe to skepticism, Ronaldo stands by his story. "I know what I saw, and I believe it was a yeti," he said. "I don't really care if anyone else believes me, I just hope people leave it alone." It has for centuries, he wrote.
Encounter 4 Sasquatch hunt points to humanity's dark side. Mark Keller, a postal worker from Eureka, California, has drawn criticism for his plan to embark on a 5-month Bigfoot hunting expedition. Keller, a Vietnam War veteran, intends to trek through the Cascade Wilderness with 2 companions and rifles, with the explicit goal of killing Bigfoot to prove its existence. "If you get that one opportunity to obtain a Sasquatch, you had better make it stick," Keller said in a recent interview. "Tranquilizers won't work. That leaves us with treating it as an animal and putting it down with a rifle."
Keller's comments have sparked outrage among conservationists, scientists, and Bigfoot enthusiasts alike. Critics argue that his plan disregards the creature's potential status as an endangered species and reflects a reckless disregard for nature.
Jeff Landers, a journalist covering the controversy, described Keller as embodying the worst traits of humanity. "Keller's approach to Bigfoot reeks of arrogance and greed," Landers wrote. "His hunt isn't driven by science or curiosity, it's about glory and exploitation."
Surprisingly, Dr. Grover Krantz, a respected anthropologist from Washington State University, has supported Keller's rationale. Krantz, who has spent 15 years studying Bigfoot evidence, believes that obtaining a physical specimen is the only way to confirm the creature's existence.
"I don't condone killing indiscriminately, but one specimen could settle the debate forever," Krantz stated.
Environmental groups have vowed to shadow Keller's party in the forest, armed with noisemakers to disrupt the hunt and protect Bigfoot. However, many fear that Keller's determination and military training will allow him to elude them.
"If Keller succeeds in killing Bigfoot, the implications would be tragic," Landers concluded. "It would send a message that humanity prioritizes conquest over coexistence. Let's hope Bigfoot remains elusive for its sake and ours."
Encounter 5 Indian legends support Bigfoot's existence. For centuries, indigenous tribes across North America have passed down stories of a massive, intelligent creature known as Sasquatch. These legends describe a being that roams the forests, leaving behind footprints too large to be human. Russell Gebhardt, a researcher from Lewiston, Idaho, has spent the past 5 years investigating these accounts. "The consistency of these stories is compelling," Gebhardt said. "Many indigenous communities have believed in Sasquatch for generations, long before modern sightings."
Gebhardt has collected hundreds of reports, photographs, and plaster casts of footprints. One of the most striking pieces of evidence is the legendary Patterson-Gimlin film, which allegedly captured a Sasquatch on camera in 1967.
"When you analyze the details, the movement, the anatomy, it's hard to dismiss it as a hoax," Gebhardt said.
Dr. Grover Krantz, an anthropologist and Sasquatch researcher, agrees.
"I've examined casts of footprints that include intricate anatomical details no one could fake," he said. "These creatures are real. They're just extraordinarily elusive."
Krantz estimates that around 500 Sasquatches live in North America, primarily in remote forested areas of Canada. Their nocturnal habits and intelligence, he believes, explain why they are rarely seen. Despite skepticism from the scientific community, Gebhardt and Krantz remain committed to their research.
"Whether through bones, DNA, or a live specimen, I'm confident we'll eventually prove Sasquatch exists," Gebhardt said.
Encounter 6. Huge Bigfoot tracks discovered in Washington State. A group of loggers working in the Lewis River Basin of Washington state made a startling discovery and plans to return in the spring to continue the investigation. "We're getting closer to uncovering the truth about Bigfoot," he said. Encounter 7. Witnesses. Shaken by Bigfoot sighting in Teslin. In the early hours of Sunday, June 9, 2004, two lifelong residents of Teslin, Yukon, had a chilling encounter along the Alaska Highway. Marion Sheldon and Gus Jules were riding an ATV between 1 and 2 a.m. when they noticed what appeared to be a person standing on the roadside. Thinking it might be someone from their small community in need of help, the pair turned their ATV around and approached the figure. As they drew closer, coming within 6 meters, they realized it wasn't human. Standing upright, the creature was covered in dark, shaggy hair and had visible flesh tones beneath the fur. Jules, an experienced hunter, described it as being around 7 feet tall but hunched over. Despite the dim light, enhanced only by the ATV's headlamp, they could clearly see its upright posture and striking size. The way it moved, it was unlike anything I've ever seen, Jules later recounted to Conservation Officer Dave Bakika. As the ATV got closer, the creature quickly turned and in just 2 or 3 steps, crossed the entire width of the Alaska Highway, approximately 30 feet, before vanishing into the dense forest near the Teslin airstrip. "They were shaken, no question about it," Bakika said in an interview. "They're absolutely convinced it wasn't a bear or any ordinary animal." Unfortunately, rain and a stream of curious onlookers from the town wiped away any potential tracks before Bakika could investigate the site on Monday morning. Despite the lack of physical evidence, Jules has begun a personal search for more clues, determined to prove the legitimacy of their sighting. "This is something they firmly believe they saw," Bakika said. "Just because there isn't evidence left behind doesn't mean it wasn't real. Teslin residents are no strangers to Bigfoot legends." Jules and Sheldon's encounter adds to a long list of similar accounts, including a 1991 sighting near Pelly Crossing. In that instance, 3 residents reported seeing a Sasquatch fleeing into the forest and later found 15-inch footprints in the melting snow. While skeptics dismiss such stories as myth or misidentification, the witnesses remain steadfast. "Whatever it wasn't human, and it wasn't a bear," Jules told a local reporter. For Conservation Officer Bakika, the encounter highlights an enduring mystery. "Whether it was a Sasquatch or not, I believe they saw something that shook them to the core," he said. "Sometimes the absence of proof doesn't mean the absence of truth." Bigfoot sightings in Utah, a chronicle of encounters. Bigfoot, a creature of legend and lore, has become deeply embedded in popular culture. From the blockbuster films to indigenous legends, the elusive Sasquatch has fascinated and mystified for centuries. Reports of its presence span continents, including the western United States, where sightings are often tied to remote wilderness areas. In Utah, evidence of Bigfoot has been documented across decades, with reports ranging from fleeting glimpses to chilling encounters. Here's a detailed account of sightings and experiences reported in Utah, compiled by Ryan Layton, a longtime Bigfoot researcher, and supplemented by historical records and witness interviews. Early sightings and evidence, 1960-1970s. 1960. Near Beaver, a possible Bigfoot sighting was reported, marking one of the earliest documented encounters in the state. 1970s. Residents of Clarkston, northwest of Logan, reported nighttime disturbances. An unidentified creature allegedly moved through the community, awakening and terrifying locals. Meanwhile, in the Dixie National Forest, a member of a local indigenous tribe claimed to have seen a large ape-like figure. 1973. Craig R. Johnson of Far West, Weber County, and friends were elk hunting in the Manti La Sal Mountains. Returning to camp, they discovered that a 300-pound horse trailer door had been torn off and thrown 10 feet away. The imprint left behind did not match a bear or human hand. In the summer of 1977, Jay Barker and Larry Beeson of North Ogden, along with a group of 5 young men, were hiking in the Cubrant Basin of the Uinta Mountains. From a ridge 600 to 800 yards away, they observed an 8 to 10 foot tall creature with white hair. The group watched for 20 minutes until loose rocks alerted the figure, which then vanished into the wilderness. An expedition conducted days later found no tracks, as the ground was too hard to retain impressions. However, the encounter remains one of the most well-known in Utah's Bigfoot history. "1979 saw Larry Darley of Clearfield, hunting with his wife near Monte Cristo, east of Ogden, report seeing a hairy thing with fangs through a rifle scope. The creature appeared at a water hole, accompanied by a foul odor and loud noises. Other hikers near Flaming Gorge encountered a similar odor and unearthly screams near a campsite. By 1980, reports surged throughout Utah. A pilot flying near the high Uintas saw a large hairy creature walking through deep snow. Lee Fielding, a wildlife officer, described a terrifying night in the Elizabeth Mountains when something stormed through his camp, spooking the horses. In the Uinta Basin, Ute tribal members reported sightings in sacred canyons, where outside investigation was prohibited. Legends spoke of creatures gathering in the Island Lake area, often accompanied by reports of rocks being hurled during the night. Bigfoot fever hits Utah, 1981-1983. In 1981, Garland's police chief reported seeing a large, hairy figure dart across the road. Similar sightings and tracks were reported in nearby Box Elder County. Then, in 1982, drivers along Beck Street in North Salt Lake saw a figure crossing the road in the early morning darkness. By 1983, Ryan Layton, a Bigfoot enthusiast, experienced a chilling interaction near Hoyt Peak in the Uintas. After mimicking a recorded Bigfoot scream, he received an identical reply, described as ungodly and sinister, lasting up to 10 seconds. Ongoing sightings and strange evidence, 1988-1992. In 1988, ranchers near Garland reported two Bigfoot-like creatures near their lambing pens. Tracks in deep snow were followed for 2 miles. By 1990, an Orangeville resident claimed to have seen Bigfoot 4 times in the high Uintas, including once with his family. Interestingly, his grandfather also reported a sighting in the same area decades earlier. In August 1991, residents in North Ogden reported several sightings of a large, hairy creature. By August 1992, residents in various areas of Utah described hearing loud, unearthly screams and noticing foul odors, often associated with Bigfoot encounters. A living legend. Despite scientific skepticism, the stories of Bigfoot persist, passed down through generations and supported by first-hand accounts. From terrifying screams in the wilderness to tracks left in the snow, Utah's Bigfoot sightings remain an enduring mystery, capturing the imagination of those who dare to believe. Whether myth or reality, these encounters remind us that the wilderness still holds secrets waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed these stories and want to explore more about Sasquatch and other cryptic creatures, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating tales. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest content.